Mr. J! What's happening, everybody?
Look at the size of the cake, man.
You don't expect her to just open the door herself. What's happening, everybody? Welcome. It's been a couple of weeks since we didn't have an episode last week, but we are back for Batman the Fan-imated stream. I'm, of course, Dave the Film Junkie, and with me, as always, Mr. Scott McClellan. How's it going, sir? I know we're both. We were having this conversation. When it comes to sports, our team's not doing so well. Your football team. What happened? What was the score? What happened?
No. When 41-38.
So close.
Lost on well, here's the thing. When you go into halftime 14 points down, and then you make that all up and you tie the game up, but then you continue to make mistakes, and then you let the team march all the way down the field and score 2 seconds left, and you get to score a field goal. It's like
that's what happens, right? And right now, currently, my Giants are losing to the Dodgers 9-2. Game 2 of the NLDS. Not looking good. Yes, it had high hopes. They won last night, but there's just no groove. Here it is. Here's the final out right here, and now it's done. All right. At least we got a series. That's all. I do like that. Hey, it's 1-1. We have a series. Let it go to game 5 and let it end in dramatic fashion because it is the Dodgers and Giants ultimate rivalry. They haven't been in the playoffs since like the 50s, which is what's crazy. They've not been facing each other in the playoffs since the 50s. So, okay, congratulations, Dodger fans. Okay, I don't care. No, go ahead, give it to me. It's funny. I don't care. I don't care.
Do caca poo poo.
Yes, that's what I have to say about that.
Well, the Aggies did they earned that win, and you know what? One loss, boo hoo. Okay, so we're 5-1 for the season so far.
That's good, though. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. There was one person who pointed out that this is Nick Saban's 15th season with Alabama, and how many national championships has he won with Alabama? And only 2 of those were undefeated seasons. So, like, one loss doesn't end the season for you. So,
yeah, that's true. And then, like I said, it's 1-1. At least
there's Jose. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I knew it was coming. Now, womp womp. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I feel like you felt last night. I'm just saying. And you guys got shut out last night. At least we scored 2 runs. Anyways, Red Sox. Yeah, they're doing well. They lost tonight. No. They didn't play tonight. And that's right. I was watching the Brewers and Braves, and Brewers lost. That's what I think. Anyways, so. Enough about the sports. Go sports.
Sports ball.
Yeah, sports ball. Go sports ball. We're here to talk. We're here to talk Cape shit. We're here to talk some Batman, and we have another good one. I wore my Joker shirt in true fashion. I was like, all right, perfect, because right in the middle there we got this Joker, and this is the introduction to Harley Quinn, a Harley Quinn, and yes, if you're watching in broadcast order, this was technically the first episode that was broadcast, but we are going in production order,
right? Because this was like episode 4, I think, in broadcast order. First appearance of the Joker in broadcast order, which is interesting that it would be the Harley Quinn introduction episode. I think that's
right. It is kind of funny because if you were watching a broadcast order, because then all of a sudden when you go back and when we get these other Joker episodes, like specifically the April Fool's one, there's no Harley Quinn. No, there's no Harley Quinn on any, and even with what was it, the episode with the mayor's son? No Harley Quinn. There's just no Harley Quinn. That's why I'm glad that we actually did this in production order, because we see the evolution. I think that's what we agreed on is the fact that we see this evolution, and now we get this Harley Quinn character, and then just watching it, I'm going, yeah. When they came up with her character and you watch this episode, you go, yeah, she's a really good sidekick. There's throughout the episode when she's like cheering him on and acting all just goofy, and just the way that they portray her. And it's just like, yeah. And she's still like that to this day with the Harley Quinn show, with Margot Robbie's version. This is where it all started.
I know. And it's also interesting that and we'll get to it as we talk about the episode,
Yeah.
but I almost feel like she's not quite fully baked yet.
Not yet.
Like, because you don't get the
No pun
sense
intended, because there's a big cake that happens.
there was a big cake. You know, but you don't even get the sense that she was this like the psychiatrist storyline. You realize that that's probably stuff that Paul Dini probably ironed out later on. Yeah.
They wanted a sidekick for him, and somebody who was just like a goofy female counterpart. And I think probably they saw that people responded to her, and then they went, all right, we have to put a backstory. We have to put an origin story. And, the origin story that they eventually cooked up is pretty fantastic, to be honest. It's a great origin story.
Yeah. And I love the fact that as we watch these in production order, we're going to hear it teased out because, it was told in a comic book first. And it wasn't until the new Batman Adventures, way almost at the end of the show's run that they finally adapted that into an episode of the series. So it's amazing. Like, if you didn't read the tie-in comics, if you're just watching the show, it's like you get to the end of the show before you finally get that origin story.
Yeah. I mean, she was just that. I guess you could say it's just that likable of a character, but then it's like, hey, let's put some depth in it. And yeah, it's I mean, we all know that origin story, and it's a great origin story. And this one right here, this episode, I mean, you mentioned who does voice Charlie in this episode?
Ed Begley Jr.
Ed Begley Jr. That's right. Returning to the series.
I know. For the last 2 episodes we just talked about when he was Germs and
Peter Clay. Yeah. And it's like, hey, just come back and do another voice. We needed somebody who's also nervous, because Charlie is a nervous dude and he doesn't exactly have the best days.
No, he doesn't. It's kind of like, falling down
a little bit.
And you get a little
starts off.
Down. Yeah. But except for he's a little bit more overweight and schlubby.
Yeah, and a little more bald, and doesn't just leave his car somewhere and goes and gets an Uzi and starts, just kind of walking through LA. This time he's in his car and he's complaining. One of the things, and it's kind of funny, it's a trope that I wrote down here too, because he talks about how down, talking to himself, how like crappy the day is. And what is it because when he talks about like what his wife's going to be cooking, why is it always meatloaf? It's just always got that. Anytime you want to talk about a bad meal, it's meatloaf.
I don't understand, because I love meatloaf. Like
if you cook it right.
I'm right. And I'm sorry, my mom makes a fabulous meatloaf.
Yeah, my grandma used to make a good meatloaf. I mean, yeah, people always go, yeah, add ketchup to it. If it's cooked right, you're fine.
You're fine.
I think my mom even made some good meatloaf. If she's out there, she probably had the same recipe. I don't know. I just always remember, like, why is always, it's always got a bad rap, like, when it comes to meatloaf. But that's always the trope of when you're gonna have a bad meal, it's meatloaf.
I don't get it. Like like my mom's meatloaf is so good that like when Heather and I go to my parents' house and my mom's cooking dinner, like Heather's like, is your mom making your meatloaf? Like it's like it's like a request.
Yeah, I think it's just because a lot of people maybe don't know how to do it right. And
it is something you can screw up really easily.
Dry, and you're just like, that's why people are like putting all that ketchup on it. But yeah, if you get like somebody who does it right, it's moist, it falls apart. It's just, you can have some good meatloaf. But I think there's just been so many failed attempts that it became a trope that if you're going to have a bad meal, the wife's going to make a bad meal. You're like, having a bad day. And she's probably making meatloaf. And that's exactly what happened. And then he just, we get a sense of Charlie's character because he's just like, he's life's punching bag, essentially.
Oh, yeah. And boy, have we, and this is another one of those episodes that I feel like doesn't really hit for you until you're an adult. Yeah. Because he's sitting in the car in a rush hour, bumper to bumper at the end of the workday. I'm sorry, you don't truly appreciate that until you've actually been there. And
we've all had those days where it's just like, and you're talking to yourself like, it's just like, what? You're
talking about an episode that the inciting incident is having road rage against the Joker. I mean,
I know it's funny because that's what's going on. It's like he's listening to the radio and he's hearing about the Joker escaping. So they're already establishing that. And then he's having this bad day, and all of a sudden the cops are just like starting to, oh, he's got to get out of the way of the cops, and they're whizzing by. And then not only does that happen, the fucking Batmobile just whizzes by too.
I know. And he's just like, sure, no one sees Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie doesn't matter. I mean, man, the guy has got an inferiority complex, you know, the size of Texas going on.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of funny. Of course, but they also draw him to just look like, you know, when you call him life's punching bag, I mean, he looks like, you know, your cliche of life's punching bag.
He's overweight. He's got the like a little comb over, like balding and comb over. He's got that one, like, you know, those strands of hair that are going over. And yeah, he's just not having a good day. And then just to make matters worse, he's got somebody who's also driving not too well, and that person is the Joker. I mean, just talk about having just to launch your day into even more of a bad day, because then he's like, he's like, you know what? I'm not having this. I'm going to have a little bit of road rage. And he like literally rolls down the window. I love the fact that he's just like, they talk about how like that he's cursing and cussing and stuff, but not technically, because it is a kid's show still.
It is a kid's show, yes.
Yeah, it's technically like there. I mean, if it was adult oriented, yeah, there might be some F-bombs and stuff that might have got screamed out the window.
There would have been a finger instead of a fist. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A bird would have been flipped.
If I had 2 cents.
That's right. He yells that out, and then he realizes, oh my God, it's the Joker. Oh, I just heard that he escaped, and these guys are chasing after him, and here he is right here. And then he just is like, all right, time for me to just like, you know, just try. He starts sweating. It's like, it gets pretty intense with him. But the Joker's like, all right, you want to mess with me? Well, I'm going to mess with you. And he keeps on like falling behind him. And it's just,
I love the fact that, you know, the whole reason the road rage gets started is because he moves into the lane without doing the blinker, which that pisses me off too. I mean, it's like,
oh, dude, you don't even
know. Does your car not have a blinker? I mean, seriously.
You don't even know. There's many times when that happens. And then when I pass a person, I always, or like when they do that in front of me, I'll like go like this. I just do that. Like, do not have that. You know, sometimes I'll just like flash. I'll do my you know, my blinker sign, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, just it's right there. It's just a click. It's not gonna, you know, jeez.
But then for the rest of the car chase, the Joker sticking his hand out, doing like the classic, like if your
that's right,
doesn't work, you know, I'm turning left, I'm moving right. And I'm just like, wow, you went there.
Yeah,
okay.
He's such an asshole. Of course. He's like, oh, okay. So then, but then like Charlie does a little quick maneuver where he's like, all right. And then he just gets off the freeway real quick, gets off the exit. And it's a pretty good maneuver, because you would think, all right, I'm getting out of there. But no, it's the Joker. You know, he's got a way like Batman, I guess you could say. It's like, no, you just can't get away from these guys. They have a certain way. If they're locked onto you, guess what? They're gonna find you. They're definitely gonna find you, and he definitely does. And this is where, well, first off, I love the fact that, like, you know, of course he's pouring sweat, and then when his car ends up just like kind of just breaking down, which is like, all right, this day is just like the worst day, of course, of his life. And then he runs into the woods. And I love the fact that, again, Joker being the dick, because of doing the hand signals, he throws 2 pennies at his feet and goes,
There's your 2 cents.
Yeah.
What you gonna do about it?
Exactly.
Another thing about, since we're watching these in production order, and so we get to see the evolution, I think this is also, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first time we see his character design where he's wearing the trench coat and the hat. I don't think we've seen that before.
No.
But that becomes a look that like carries on for the rest of the series. I mean, for me, I was thinking, because that's also what he's wearing in Mask of the Phantasm too. He's got that hat and trench coat combo, which always made me think of Nicholson in '89.
Yes, exactly. Because I even have the pop where he has the hat, not exactly the trench coat, but he has, you know, he's got the slacks and the coat and the cane. So that was definitely a look. And thank you, Michael, for becoming a new member. Thank you, sir. So yeah, we got that where and basically throws the 2 cents down, and then, I mean, what's interesting is like Joker when he like gets him up, he reaches into his jacket, and then of course Charlie pleads for his life, and then Joker kind of goes, "Okay." I'm like, was he really just gonna go pull out a gun and just blow him away?
I would.
You think?
It's a Joker. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's just like it was just like I thought. I was like trying to remember as this episode was playing. I'm like, is he gonna pull out something just like meaningless and like, oh, we thought it was gonna be a gun, but no, it's not. I think he actually was. He was gonna blow this guy away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he realized, oh, wait a minute. One, I can fuck with him.
Yeah.
Which the Joker always finds
Yes.
amusing.
Yep.
But also, let's be honest, the Joker really is a super intelligent socio-psychopath.
Yep.
So he's playing the long game. He doesn't know what Charlie's going to be useful for.
Yeah.
But he's going to be useful for something.
Yeah.
And
I think go ahead.
No, and I just think I think that's just the Joker. No, he's got his. We always joke about Batman in prep time.
Yeah,
it's like Joker is thinking like, oh, here's a schlub. Here's a disposable schlub I can use at some point down the road.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he just likes the fact that that it'll fuck with him every day. Like every day, Charlie's gonna wake up and be like, "Is today gonna be the day?" And I think Joker finds like humor in that, where he's like, "Yeah, every day that guy is thinking I'm gonna call him," and it's not, and because he even says, "I don't know what's gonna be about," And this part right here actually kind of reminded me of like how when Ledger's Joker is talking to Harvey Dent in the hospital, and he's just like, "Do I really look like a guy with a plan? I'm like a dog, like chasing a car. I don't know what I do. I just, I just do." And it's just, it almost kind of had it just reminded me of that, because he's so much like, "I don't know when I'm going to need you. So just, that's it. I don't know, whatever." But at the same time, it's like, he does probably find some satisfaction at the fact that this guy every day is today going to be the day,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I like that. And then, so then that exchange happens. And then 2 years later, we get to Gordon and Bullock. And of course, Bullock, man.
This is like something we haven't done. We haven't had this since like on Leather Wings, where like every time we see Bullock, he's eating, in his face.
He's a slob. He's got a donut, of course, and him and Gordon are talking, and Gordon is actually going to be, honored. He's got a testimonial honor event that's going to happen. He wants nothing of it. That's what I like. I like the fact that Gordon is just like, let me just do my job. I don't need any rewards or awards or anything like that. Just let me do my job, please. I don't want to go to this fancy schmancy thing. I just want to do the job that I wanted to do,
And it's also,
thank you, Amanda. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I also feel like this is the first time we get a scene in this series of, we had that one time during Cat in the Claw where Gordon just kind of backed up to the alley and then Batman kind of appeared out of the alley and they had that sort of conversation. I really feel like this is the first time we get the Batman just shows up in Gordon's office and they kind of have that Batman Gordon kind of conversation.
It's a good conversation too, because he's getting that, and then Batman just goes, most of this force would disagree, and then it's just like, yeah, I'm just trying to do that, and then Batman's just like, well, I handle the night shift, you handle the rest. I mean, it's pretty cool because Batman actually is just giving praise to what Gordon does most of the time. And it's like, hey man, I'm handling the night shift, obviously, but you're the guy that's doing this all the time.
You're 24/7.
Exactly. And it was it was a very cool little exchange. And then Gordon, and it kind of convinces Gordon to be like, all right, cool, it could be fun. It's a party, there'll be good food. Why not? And but then of course he's talking to himself, so his Batman just goes out the window.
I just love it. And it's it begins this great tradition of the little comebacks that Gordon has. And this was like, I hate when he does that.
Yeah, exactly. It was good. Yeah, this was like a good introduction to that dynamic of their relationship. And that's why it's good to watch it in these production order, because yeah, you just kind of see how when they were writing these and making these, you could see like the evolution of a lot of these characters, and that just shows you right there. So so then let's see, yeah, he even talks about renting a tux and course like that. And then we cut to, of course, Joker, who is throwing darts at the clipping, I guess, out of the newspaper about Gordon's event.
Yes.
And not only is he throwing darts, but he's holding a mirror and throwing them backwards. It's like, it's not enough to just throw them directly. He's got to add a little flavor to it.
But I also love how his henchmen, including Harley, are like totally unfazed. Like, yeah, we're hanging around. The two schlubs, the henchmen, who I think we see again. Like, I think that's another thing about watching this production, where I swear we see those two guys later in the series. I also love the fact that one of them was reading a Tiny Toons Adventures comic book.
Yeah, I saw that too. Nice little Easter egg. Yeah, we've seen it before, and it's like, yeah, of course I got to put that naturally. But but this is our first introduction to Miss Harley Quinn. That's right,
and her design is there. Arlene Sorkin is like that voice was there from day one. It's amazing.
Yeah, and some people like, I mean, I remember, I think like I always thought it was Tara Strong, but I was like, oh wait, she did it later on. It was like,
she didn't do it until Arkham City, the video game, because Arlene Sorkin was even the voice of Harley in the Arkham Asylum game.
Really? Okay. I thought she did all the games. Like, no. I knew Tara did, like, she did some of the animated movies, right?
Oh, no, yeah. Because Tara was Batgirl in that last season. She was Barbara, because Melissa Gilbert does it in this.
Yes, in this iteration.
This iteration. Tara does it in that final season, but then it was Arkham City where Arlene retired after the first Arkham Asylum game.
Gotcha. Hey, what's going on, ACS? Good to see you, bud.
Hey, Anthony.
Yeah. So yeah, Puddin. Did she didn't say Puddin in it.
No, she called him Mr. J. She called him Mr. J, but we don't get to Puddin yet, because you also don't really get quite the sense in this episode that there's any kind of romantic involvement between the two characters. Once again, there's still an evolution to happen. Right now, she's just kind of like a mall in the jester outfit.
She's like his cheerleader, like literally. There's like times where, like, because Joker just feels like he needs to honor Gordon, and he starts like going off on this whole thing, and then she starts doing like the woo woo woo, yeah, and then he's like
the Arsenio Hall, like,
she's doing that stuff.
By the way, it's just like,
I know, right? Totally. Anybody remember Arsenio Hall? Anybody else? Yeah, I'm sure some people do. But no, she's just more like his cheerleader kind of thing. And you have that dynamic. You don't see any kind of, there's no romantic relationship
or
at all.
Sexual or anything like that in this episode.
Eventually, we'll get to the point where it's like, oh yeah, where she gets brokenhearted. There's some episodes like, specifically that one with her and Poison Ivy.
Harley and Ivy. Yes. That was the name of that episode. There's that one. There's Harley's Holiday.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn. I mean, that's the thing, is like, we got a lot of wonder, and guess what? All written by Paul Dini.
Yeah, exactly.
Every single one of them written by Paul Dini.
Nice. Yeah. So, and it's funny because then he does that, and then all of a sudden he pulls out the license of Charlie, who that he had, and he's like, all right, this is the favor that he's gonna do. And it's pretty funny too, like when he explains the favor. Like, I just forgot how ridiculous. I mean, we kind of already kind of joked about it at the beginning of this episode, but it's just kind of funny when he does explain it to him. So Charlie, so then we cut to Charlie, who is now not living in Gotham. He's apparently
in Ohio.
Like, smart guy. Smart in the fact that he went, okay, Joker has my license and everything. I got to just basically relocate and change my name. And he changed his name to Daniel Wallace, right? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yes. Don Wallace, not Daniel.
Don Wallace.
Sorry. Daniel Wallace. You know what? That name is from Family Matters. Holy shit. That's where that came from right there. There's a character named Daniel Wallace in there. That's why I thought that. But yeah, it's Don Wallace, moved to Ohio, and he's just playing catch with his son. Everything's all nice and everything great. And then the phone rings, and guess who's on the other line? It's the Joker. And I love the fact, again, when we're seeing the dynamic between Joker and Harley, as he's talking to him, Harley's like cutting his hair.
Yeah, which is also really funny because then I almost think about like in David Ayer's Suicide Squad from the Comic-Con trailer, the scene we didn't get to see of Enchantress cutting Flag's hair while he's going through the files. It made me think of that.
That's right, huh? I totally forgot about that. Oh man, release that haircut. We got to see that scene. So yeah, so then of course he's telling him, and Charlie's trying to play it like, no, you got the wrong number, and blah blah blah. And but then of course we get that line that you actually tweeted out, that you've become my hobby. That line. That was a good line.
That's a good line. You're my hobby. And because it comes up later, because Charlie even says that to Batman later on. It's like, he called me his hobby.
Yeah. So this just shows you right here what we were talking about, is the fact that even though that Charlie, tried to do all this stuff, Joker kept tabs on him this whole time. Like, even though that Charlie wasn't aware, but Joker knew exactly what was going on this whole time. And that's why he called him that. You were my hobby. And it's just like, there you go. There's like that brilliance. There is that genius that is the Joker. Even though he's a psycho, he still has this genius within him. And he knew the fact that, oh yeah, he tried to do that. I still got him, and I'm going to call him. And even though he changed his address, changed his state that he lived in, changed his name, everything like that, Joker still had tabs on him. That's awesome. Yeah.
And then he comes back, and then of course, they come back to Gotham, and Charlie gets the plan explained to him, and I just love it. It's like, I need you to open a door.
She's gonna knock 3 times, and gonna open the door. He's just like, "What? That's it?" And then this is where he goes, "You see the size of that cake can?"
Man?
Yeah.
You expect her to open it herself?
I mean, again, it's just like Joker went so out of his way to keep tabs on this guy and to fuck with this guy, only just to have him open. It was like, oh, here's the perfect scenario. I'm just going to have him open the door to this event where I'm going to basically blow up the top of the GCPD and the main man. And that's it. And then, and then something happens later on. It's not just opening a door. I mean, obviously, it's the Joker. There's a little something extra to it. I mean, Charlie's just like, that's it. And that's all. And, it's interesting, too, because, Charlie, even though, like, at first when we meet him, we kind of go, oh, this schlub, but at the same time, he goes, when you watch this episode, you go, he really is just trying to be a good guy. He really does.
And he's got some good ideas, because when he gets to the club and with the party, and he's got some time when he's not being watched. I mean, he goes into that Hall of Inventions. He finds kind of like that Da Vinci machine.
Yeah.
And basically makes his own sort of makeshift bat signal, which Alfred notices as he and Bruce are driving away.
Yeah, because when we get to that event, I mean, and it's funny too, because Bruce and Gordon are talking, and Bruce is just like, "Hey, sorry, I can't stay for dinner," and Gordon makes a little joke about being a socialite and stuff like that, but then he's like, "Can you take me with you?" Like Gordon actively is just like, "I don't want to be. I don't want to be here." I mean, we get a sense of like how Gordon, and I totally get it too. Like, I don't like to, hey, I just want to do my thing. I don't need to be the center of attention and blah, blah. You could tell that they're really establishing that joke, or that Gordon is not all about being like, hey, you're so, everybody going, pretty. He's like, no, I just want to do my job. Just leave me alone. That's all I want. At the end of the day, I just want to go home to my family. That's it. That's all I need. But, they really established that there. So, yeah. I mean, obviously, like, Bruce is leaving because the Joker's still at large, and he just needs to. And then, they see and that was pretty clever. It was pretty clever that he did that. He's like, I got all these cops. How do I let them know? How do I let them know that something bad's going to happen? And it was somehow I can get Batman, and just, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a good thing Bruce Wayne was there, or else they wouldn't have saw that. I don't know
Right,
how
exactly.
Batman could have even gotten summoned if he was just like out and about, unless he was just actually there. But it was still clever. It was still clever. And so yeah, he does that. And so then when the knocks happen, opens the door, Harley comes in dressed in but before that, of course, we're seeing the slob that is Bullock.
Bullock, like just eating
Yeah.
everything, burping, taking
Yeah.
Montoya's food.
You gonna eat that muffin, Montoya? You know, and she's just like, oh God, you know, why do I work with this guy?
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, she is so disgusted.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how like they didn't even have to write any lines for Montoya. It's just like
No.
you are just go
Repulsive.
no. I am repulsed by you.
It's like,
And then Harley comes in that police, which I think is very subversive because like it's like she's a stripper. She's in
yep.
the police uniform. She's
Yeah.
very shapely and attractive in the police uniform.
Yeah. Got the
And she's
lipstick.
got a giant cake. I thought about that scene from Under Siege. Remember that Steven Seagal movie?
I was like, are you thinking of that scene in Under Siege?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Oh, that made some of us a man. Yeah. Erica Elaniak. Whew. That was a good scene. Definitely a good scene. Yeah. No,
I
yeah,
totally
yeah.
thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. And then, of course, naturally, Bullock being the slob that he is, he starts hitting on her.
Well, first he's like, ooh, entertainment.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. I had another question for you because you saw Montoya's disgust at the idea. So I'm even because I remember when we looked up Montoya's character Bible page when we talked about POV.
Yeah.
Because she actually was supposed to have a husband. So like even the idea of Montoya that they later evolved her into being a lesbian character wasn't there at the beginning because you're not seeing like she had a husband that they talked about in her character bio, the way she reacts here. I think it's just interesting to once again see how characters grew and changed over the course of their creation.
No, that is pretty cool. Yeah, I remember us talking about that, and like, she has no date there. She's just sitting at the table with Bullock. There's nobody there. They didn't go that far where it's like, oh yeah, we gotta put her with somebody, and you know. So, but I just like you said, I just like the fact that they didn't have to bring in the voice actress to do anything. It was just like, we just got to just make her make faces at Bullock, essentially. And, you know, and then, of course, Bullock, when Harley comes in and he's like, hey, shit, you want to read me my rights? Like, police puns? Really, Bullock? Come on. You can do better than that. And then she freaking just slaps him, like takes the club and just hits him right in the shin. Like,
and that would hurt like,
oh,
hell.
Oh. God, I can only imagine. I kind of winced myself. Like, you get. I mean, come on, you get hit in the shin. I mean, how many times have even as a kid or something like that, or even just running into something, you just cleanly hit your shin. It's one of those, and you're walking around like just you're walking it off. It's not. Imagine getting a baton to the fucking shin. No way. No, thank you.
You have the right to remain silent.
Of course, all the police lines. Yeah, they got to put those in there. So, and then it's interesting too because all of a sudden, like when she starts doing her little spiel, and then gas just starts coming out of like candles and whatnot. And this is interesting gas. It's not like laughing gas or anything. It's gas that makes you just freeze.
It's a paralytic.
There you go. So everybody just kind of just goes, and so everybody just kind of freezes up, and then of course Joker, pops out of the cake, and then again Harley does her little cheer thing where she's literally like jumping and just going yay, but I mean, she's just his cheerleader in this one for sure, and does a good job with it, I guess you could say. But what's interesting too? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to talk about the fact that Joker has a bomb that looks like his face. I mean,
of course.
you get sticks of dynamite because we're still a cartoon. So
branding, man, it's branding.
Yeah, I mean, you get sticks of dynamite with a Joker face, and the countdown is in his eyes.
I thought that was cool, but then at the same time, Charlie realizes that, oh shit, I am now super glued to the door handle. So it's like, of course. It's like, it wasn't just to open the door. Joker came up with this idea. It's like, yeah, I was going to kill you in the woods, but nah, I'm going to let you live with the thought of me calling you, and then I'm going to blow you up along with the GCPD. It wasn't just going to be that simple there, Charlie. No. Or Don, wherever you want to go by.
I thought you were going to let me live. Yes. All remaining 59 seconds of it.
Yeah. Well, then he was like, I thought, no, that's what, no, I think you got a little confused.
I got confused there. Okay.
Yeah. Because he said like something in good health. Somebody said that, like, something in good health. Oh yeah. He was talking about, like, I don't know. Joker was saying something about in good health, all remaining 59 seconds of it. But when it came to Charlie goes, you said you let me go back to my family. He goes, I didn't say alive.
Yes.
That's what he said. Yeah.
That's what he says. Yeah.
But he was saying that other thing to Joker, he's all, I wanted to talk, in good health, the remaining 59 seconds of it. So, yeah. And then, of course, yeah, like I said, the bomb was on there. And then, but luckily, Batman comes swooping in, of course, as he does. And when he does, and Charlie just lets him know that, hey, that little badge right there. And it's kind of cool to be, I mean, imagine this. Imagine being like just in complete paralysis, like you can't move, and there's a bomb strapped to you that is counting down. And they really represent that. Like Gordon's like, you could still see his eyes. He's beads of sweat. Like, I'm going to die.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fucking like, I can't even imagine like feeling that where you literally can't do anything and there's a bomb strapped to your chest. Jesus.
And then of course he gets his grappling gun. He wraps it up. I love, they do get very creative with how Batman uses that grappling gun. Like
yes,
like you see him like wrap it up and then he shoots it up through it.
Yeah.
I do love the scene where he's like, when they're walking out, they're gonna go rob, and I love when Joker the explosion goes off. He goes, that came from outside.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too, like, just going back to like Gordon sweating and just like realizing, oh my god, I could die right now. I watched 6 episodes of Squid Game today, so I was in very much that mode of like, yeah, man. Have you watched Squid Game?
Not yet. It's on the list,
dude. Oh my god. I mean, I'm sure you've seen people talk about it.
Oh, no, people have been talking about it. I'm like, it's on the list. It is on the list. But, man, I've been following your tweets today, and it was just
dude, the first episode, it's like, because I really, like, I kind of knew what was going on, but I didn't want to look into it. I didn't want to read too much into things. I knew, like, okay, this is like, I get, it was explained. It was like, oh, it's like Hunger Games for adults. I'm like, now that I'm watching, I'm like, I don't know about that. It's a little different, and it's way, your anxiety levels, like the last. I mean, I haven't watched. I still have like 3 or 4 more episodes to go, which I'll watch tomorrow. But man, the episode 6, which everybody kept telling me, wait till episode 6, and I was like, the whole time you're just like, I was like, just going, what? You're just, because it's just such a slow burn to the point where you're just like, and then when you see the end, you're like almost in tears.
Oh wow, can't wait.
Dude,
can't wait.
It is very well written, it is very well acted, it is, man, it just like, I'm like going, where is this going? Like, I'm trying to, like, you do that thing where you kind of go, how is this going to end? And you're trying to like think, and it's just like, is it going to go this way? Is it going to go that way? It's just so intense and just gripping. It's just gripping, and it just makes your anxiety levels go up a little bit. So yes, definitely. Yeah, I think you'll definitely enjoy it, and I can't wait to finish it. But anyways, back to this. I just kind of reminded me of that. Yeah, that was a tangent, because it just kind of reminded me, because I was in that mindset of like, like, oh, that oh, I'm gonna die, because every episode of that is just like pretty much almost like when they're playing these games, you're like, somebody's gonna die, like these people know that they could die, and it's just reminding me of that, and the sweating and all that stuff, man. It's just, but yes, so he launches outside, and that came outside, and then it's kind of funny because not only does it get launched outside, but the bomb lands on the van that they arrived in.
I know. I love that. I guess we'll make our stand here.
Yeah. Just a Joker going, just, all right, I guess we're going to be doing this. And then it's just, because they're at this place that, I mean, of course we saw the Hall of Inventions, but it's got like a room where there's like a pyramid now, and then Batman's like showing up and trying to, and then like the henchmen are fighting him, and it's always funny because it's like, really, you think these guys are gonna take on Batman? They're overweight.
I know. And they're like, woo. It reminds me of that guy from the April Fool's Day episode. He's like,
a little bit, yeah, because you got the guy. What's that?
The nunchucks.
Yeah, well,
no, the bola.
Yeah, the bola. Yeah, and he throws it at him. Batman's just like, what is he? He uses does he use a batarang, or
he uses a batarang? Yeah,
he used a batarang. Yeah, and he just launches it right back at him. It's like, oh god. I was like, man, that's just too smooth. And the other guy has like some kind of spear or something. He tries to attack him with. It doesn't work. Batman just. Batman doesn't even have to use his fists. He basically he could just keep his arms underneath his cape and it'll be fine.
Yes.
Yeah. And but then of course the Joker has, some toys himself, but it's just kind of funny because when he approaches that pyramid that's in there, and all of a sudden there's just fire that just comes in, and it's like, all right. And I love Joker's line where he goes like they reconstructed these back to like all the way back to like the poison dart tips or something like that, and he starts launching the darts at him.
And the fall-away floor was a nice touch too.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop Batman, because Batman falls through and there's spikes down there, but he grabbed on to the top of it, and of course makes his way out of it. And then we got like another Joker bomb, of course. And I like how, I mean, this is like it's a good battle between Batman and Joker. It's not too cheesy. It's kind of creative, and Joker's putting up pretty good he's pretty good fight, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Still, once again, I just keep on thinking about how something like this plays out even better when we get to like Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, like, yeah, exact. Oh yeah, especially with the models.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I love that when he just punches the freaking helicopters and planes, and you see blood literally just shoot out of his fist. Oh,
it's so good.
And I was like, oh, there's blood in this. I remember just like being like, I think I freaked out because I remember seeing that with my dad, and I was like, blood in this? You don't see blood, and then revisiting
his tooth out.
Yeah, that too. It's like, geez. So the bomb happens, but then Batman just throws it into that false floor, and then Joker escapes. And this is the clip that I wanted to show because this is an interesting clip. I like the ending of this because we have Joker running away, and then we have Charlie just goes, you know what? Fuck this. Yes. I got some balls. You know what? Fuck this. I'm going to fuck with the Joker right now. And then we really see the Joker just kind of lose his shit and literally yells out to Batman. Literally yells out.
To do with the situation. Like, this really shows you what a masochist, but also how he plays off the fact that he always thinks he's in control.
Yeah. And you really see, it's just like a good breakdown right here. So here's the clip right here.
Hold it. Oh, come on. I said hold it.
Punches him. Right.
I know.
You miserable little nobody.
See, and he gets a little upset.
Your wife and son are
threatens his family.
Not getting caught. Not this time. I found this blown out of the van. This is how it ends, Joker.
And then all of a sudden, just pure fear on Joker's face.
I love that. I love it when he gets the little fingers. He goes,
yeah.
Is it the great Joker
and he's sweating too while he's doing it.
Alongside a miserable little nobody. Kind of funny. Ironic, really. See, I can destroy a man's dreams too. And that's really the only dream.
He's summoning his Joker. He really is.
Harley, you've had a busy day. All this running around.
See, and then Joker's trying to like bargain. See?
I know.
And then he starts calling to Batman.
I had a good teacher.
Good
night, Gracie. No! Batman!
He's just screaming out to Batman. And then he's happy that he's there.
Long enough.
Down, Charlie. You know he'll just escape again. This is the only way my family stays safe.
See? Oh my God, Charlie's just feeling it, man. I love all the stuff that falls out of that book.
I know.
It's so
You're
ridiculous.
no fun anymore, Charlie.
Hey, Joker.
And even Batman's like, what the hell? And then, nope, it's fake. Yeah, it's fake. Bam, boom. And then even Batman.
Gotcha.
Very funny. A million laughs.
I still love that Joker theme.
But then it went a little further in this. It had like bum, 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 in this, like a little bit with the theme, right? A little bit. It had a little bit of like a.
Well, I also like it that this is. Well, this one also has the musical thing that I associate with this episode, which is the dun 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 dun. That only happens in this episode. So it's one of those. This is definitely one of those episodes that, like, when you say the title of the episode, I hear this episode.
Yes,
because because you always talked about how the April Fool's Day episode, you always remember that sort of that kind of that thing. For this one.
Yeah.
This one has the boo doo boo boo boo.
Yeah. It definitely does. Shirley Walker, man. And then of course, it's funny too because when he walks away, he's talking to himself. But this time, he's talking to himself as, "I can't wait to go back to my family. I can't wait. I wonder what whatever she's making tonight. It's going to be delicious, no matter what it is, even if it's meatloaf."
I know.
So it's kind of cool to see that at the beginning of this episode, Charlie is just hating life. He's absolutely hating every little bit of his life. But now he's just feels so reborn that even if his wife is making some dried up shitty meatloaf, it's gonna be the best meal he ever had, kind of thing, because of this experience he went through. Kind of almost reminds me of Fight Club when Tyler Durden threatens that liquor store guy, just holds a gun to his head, gets his license, and then he's talking to the narrator, and he's just basically like, "How do you think he feels? Tomorrow morning, he's gonna wake up and his breakfast is gonna taste like no other, and blah blah blah." It's just the fact that you're just so high on life now that no matter what, everything's just gonna be so good. And I like the fact that when we first saw Charlie, it was complete opposite, and then we just came to this point where he's great now.
This is definitely one of those episodes that hits different when you're older. That maybe it wasn't particularly a favorite episode of mine when I was 10, but when you get older, you look at it. I think you relate to Charlie a little bit more when you get older, and suddenly you kind of get the everyman aspect of what Charlie represents in this episode, because that's something that as a kid maybe doesn't land with you as much, just because you're like, I want more Batman, I want more Joker, I don't want this bald fat guy. And then but then you get older and you realize you are the bald fat guy. Okay.
Yeah, you're like you're the guy stuck in traffic, and
and
it's like, we've been there where it's just like, ugh. But hey, Charlie's good. Kind of makes you wonder though, does he what does he do after this? Does he go back to his original name? Is he done with all the fake stuff, or does he continue being Don Wallace? I don't know. Who knows? We never hear from Charlie again.
I know. I would be really interested to know if he ever popped up in one of the little tie-in comics.
Yeah,
that would be one of those fun things. Like, these are the characters that you want to revisit. It's like whatever happened to
Charlie? Yeah,
Charlie.
I don't know what happened with that. So there you go, guys. Joker's Favor, really great episode, really enjoyable. A lot to break down with right there. And what do we got next week?
Vendetta.
Ooh, Vendetta. I'm trying to remember exactly.
We get a new Rogues Gallery introduced.
That's right. Let me see. Vendetta. I'm trying to remember exactly, because I know that and it was funny too, because I just looked at the list earlier. I'm like, come on. Where am I at here? Broadcast or nope. Vendetta. That's right. Oh yeah, duh. Croc. Duh.
It's Killer Croc. Yes.
Yeah. We talked about this on I think a previous episode. Yeah, we got Killer Croc next week. There we go.
And because it's a great episode for Croc and it's a great episode for Bullock.
That's right. Oh, that's right. This is a Bullock heavy episode, right?
Yeah. Because this is one of those first episodes that really kind of starts to humanize Bullock, which I think is important because Bullock is one of those characters that I only knew him from the show. I didn't realize that he was a character from he was a.
Yeah, been there, right?
He's been there in the comics since the 70s, and he was established. But this is the first episode that kind of starts to humanize him, make him a fully rounded character. Doesn't quite. He's not the butt of the jokes. He's not just the schlubby fat cop. It's
just like in this one where he's just eating everything.
Right. Vendetta's the one where you go, there's something there.
Well, there might be something to you right there, Bullock. You're not just that guy, that everybody's just going, that Montoya is going, Yeah, you might be, there's a reason why you're in the position you are in. Okay, we could see that. So there you go, Vendetta, guys. And yes, I see. What are you guys doing? I see what you guys are doing, Amanda. Oh, they're recruiting her as a Dodger fan, just in spite of me. I see what's going on in the chat there, guys. You and Jose see. See, they're recruiting Amanda to be a Dodger fan. That's what it is. Just to annoy me. That's what it is. See right here. Wait, can I annoy Dave? But see.
Yes,
see what's happening.
You can annoy Dave by becoming a Dodgers fan. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez, man. Whatever.
Applesauce, bitch.
Applesauce.
God, you have that from Chainsaw Block Strike Back, really?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I know. I still have that drop. I don't know why. That was the first drop I saw. Not the best one. I should have did a better one, actually. But it's whatever. Giants are gonna win. That's what I meant for that. Jeez, it's gonna happen. Hopefully, I know.
Well, they might be giants. They might be giants. Istanbul was Constantinople. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam.
Yeah. Whatever you said, right?
Do you not know that song?
What song is that?
It's from They Might Be Giants.
No,
Istanbul was Constantinople.
Oh, yeah.
Istanbul was Constantinople. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say.
Okay.
People just liked it better that way.
I needed you to actually sing the melody. I was like,
okay, there we go.
I'm
okay,
I don't know the actual lyrics, but then when he sang the melody, I was like, oh, okay.
And however, I'm going to tie this all together.
Yeah.
Huh? When I first learned that song? Tiny Toon Adventures.
There it is.
It all connects. It's all connected.
It's all connected, man. I tell you what. There you go. All right, guys. Well, this was another fun episode, another fun discussion, of course. Well, they're all fun. No matter, even if the episodes are bad, we still have fun talking about Batman the Animated Series. And like I said, next week, maybe we'll be, like I said, there was playoffs tonight. Also, you had a wedding reception, which I hope you had fun at.
I did.
Yeah.
And also, next weekend, let's not forget, is DC Fando.
That's true. Oh shit! So we got to figure that one out. Because
we do, because we've kind of committed ourselves to next week.
Okay. Thank you for reminding me. We'll play next week by ear. Because I don't. What time was that supposed to be again?
Well, that was the thing. There was a wiggle room there where maybe we could do our usual time and then we do our guest thing after this.
Okay.
Or there was that possibility. You need to kind of talk to the.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, and then I'm gonna be busy that day too because I'll be covering a lot of that shit. We'll play it by ear, guys. We'll let you know. Watch our Twitters. Follow us on our Twitters, which, you guys know. It's all down below. Go ahead and plug yourself, Scott.
Of course, you can find me on Twitter, ScottDC27. You can find my podcast, DCC Squadcast, where my podcast can be found. We're on Vero, Facebook, YouTube, and the entire network of shows at squadcastmedia.com.
There it is. And you guys know what to do. Smash that like, thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed. If you want to become a member, do so. And thank you, Michael, for becoming a new member. And we got the Patreon right there, too, if you want to check that out.
Merchandise.
And we got, of course, a Batman the Fan-imated shirt down below in the closet. And so soft, right? So soft.
So soft.
Yeah.
Like a baby's bottom.
Dude, I was like, it's just, I got to do the.
You kind of touched yourself right there, Dave. I was a
little
concerned. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What I do. It's what I do. I've had
That's what Amanda paid the $5 for earlier.
Exactly. Yeah, you got your money's worth. I know she wanted something like that. So, anyways, guys, yeah, we appreciate you clicking in. Like I said, we'll let you know. Well, I'll have some discussions, but yes, DC Fandom is next Saturday, so there might be a different time, but maybe we could squeeze in something. I don't know. We'll figure it out, and we will definitely let you know. But thank you for spending some time with us tonight, even though it was a little late. And I don't care how many Dodger fans out there. Go Giants. All right, guys. We love you. Talk to you later.